All before this workshop.
Yeah, we don't need to call it to order or anything. So John, take it away.
You're live on YouTube.
Okay.
So have you all been through this budget process before? Has everybody been?
I
don't remember either.
Right. Well, I know UCBO hasn't been, but so you've got a pretty extensive spreadsheet in front of you that I ran out of color toner halfway through the thing. But I managed to get it squared away. So this is what I do to give you an idea of where we've been and where we might be going. Because under column C are the various revenue accounts and expenditure accounts on subsequent pages. And then you can read on lines 3 and 4, current year budget, how much per month, how much we've spent as of July 31st, the percentage of the total budget as of July 31st, what I'm projecting we'll spend the next 2 months, and then a projected end of year amount, and then a proposed amount under column J. So across the top, you see A through K, and down the left side, numbers 1 through 70 something.
Can I get you? So
Yeah.
if D equals J, that's good. Right?
Yes.
No.
No,
D is the current fiscal year budget. J is the proposed budget for the coming fiscal year.
Next year, oh.
D equals I.
That was what I was looking for.
Yeah. The town remains in excellent financial condition, and I don't see a major change in that in the coming years, barring unforeseen emergency or catastrophe or something. There'll be some changes that we'll point out here in a little bit. So you can use the grids. Column C, row 8, for example, is the local government infrastructure surtax revenue item. And you can make those geographical locations using those numbers and letters. Our budget is driven solely by estimated revenue. That's the only thing that drives the budget. So trying to figure out what we might be bringing in revenue is the big task of the year. And it's pretty straightforward, frankly, because the state puts out revenue estimates for the state budgets. Although they're late this year, there are 4 or 5 that I still don't have. But in the interim, in lieu of that, we'll just use what we had last year, and it'll probably be a little bit more, which is okay anyway. So I always take a conservative approach to revenue estimates, and rather than going out on a limb and trying to think we're going to bring in $1 million, so I know not. So by definition, a budget is an estimate of revenue and expenses for the coming fiscal year. We can tell how accurate that estimate is by the budget versus actual numbers that I give you every meeting. For example, I say we spent 90% of our budget of this particular item for the year, and we received 100% of that budget. But the budget to actual is really the test of how accurate the budget has been. In a perfect world, we receive 100% of our budgeted income and spend 100% of our budget expenses and end up with a zero balance. The last 7 years, we've ended the year with a net income, and that is also going to be the case this year. So we're 83% through the fiscal year, which ends September 30th. So that's a marker there under column G. You can see some of the percentages are below 83%, meaning we haven't spent as much, or we haven't received as much or spent as much as we anticipated. Some of them are over, meaning we received more or spent more than we had budgeted. G 32, which is on the second page. You can see G 32, we are at 143% of our revenue for the year so far. That's because of the big storage unit permit fee of $81,000. Under G 78 on the third page, you see that we're at an expenditure of 111%. Where we should be 83%. That's also due to the storage facility because 80% of that $80,000 goes to Jose, the building inspector. So that money has come in and it's gone out. So that's jacked up those percentages a little bit for the year. Column F 78. Again, on the third page, F78, kind of right in the middle of the page, shows net income. Right now, we're showing a net income of $52,718.29 for the year. Profit, if you like, although we're not a profit. We're not a profit organization. That's why it's called a net income. If it's a plus number, that means we brought in more than we spent. If it's a negative number, we spent more than we brought in. What projection for the rest of the fiscal year is under I-78, where a projected net income of $54,346.62. We don't have much to pay for the rest of the fiscal year. But that's a pretty healthy net income for the year, and it's due primarily to the self-storage thing, although we only kept about 16,000 of that, 20%.
Was the Joey fine in this year as well?
Joey fine is in here as well, so that helped the revenue number. So I found this process to be pretty efficient way of proposing a budget, looking at what we've spent as a marker for what we should be spending the next year, or what we've gotten in revenue as a marker for what we're going to get in revenue for the next year, so that we can project a budget for the future. The column C, the revenue and account and expenditure accounts are pretty self-explanatory. Not all of them are spread evenly across the fiscal year. For example, dues, C45, expenditure, C45. You can see there we've spent 101% of that. Well, those all come due at the beginning of the fiscal year for the most part. We don't have any more dues to pay in the next 2 months of the fiscal year, so that number won't increase. So that's pretty much a wash of 100% in, 100%. C14 on an income, the Glen Ridge business tax licenses is backloaded because the most of that money comes in. You can see right now it's only at 50% of the revenue expectation, but that'll go to 100% because those things aren't due until the end of September. So I'll send out reminder notices, invoices late August, and by September 30th, they're due. The business tax is due at $50 a pop, and that's an item, a line item that'll show a big difference between now and the end of the year. So some are front loaded, some are back loaded. Some are spread pretty evenly across. A lot of the revenue things are spread evenly across because we get more or less a fixed amount of, of money each month out of those accounts. The final stage of the budget preparation is to take into account special situations that are coming up. Every 3 years, for example, we have to do a formal audit withdrawal accounting out of BOCA. And that's a $10,000 project. We have to do that because the state demands it and requires it. We don't have that this year. The thing that's hitting us between the eyes is C8, the local government infrastructure tax. That is going to expire at the end of December. Meaning that while we normally receive about $21,000 a year from that account, which we have used for infrastructure projects, parking lot, working on rebuilding the new steps in the back, for example. That's gonna cut us short. That will probably bring in only about $5,000 for the year, as opposed to $21,000. So you can see then, if you're looking at the last page, D77 is this year's fiscal year budget of $167,000. Jump over to J77 for next fiscal year. The budget is $145,000, or $21,000 less from that one account. So the budget for the coming year is going to be almost 13% lower than this year. I don't think that that's going to cause any problems because we have a healthy surplus at the moment. I mean, our checking account at the moment is close to $130,000. We've got nearly $700,000 at Synovus and an interest-bearing account. So we're not in the hurt bag at all. But that's going to mean a difference of $21,000 in our budget for the coming year. So that's kind of what it looks like. I'll surely entertain questions or comments.
Did you already project where that smaller budget where cut in the different items?
Well, there's not a real one-to-one correlation there. Probably a lot of different revenue accounts are going to take a bit of a hit for that. But keep in mind, we're always running a net income. So I don't see any reason to believe that won't happen next year as well. And we may end up actually having $160,000 revenue budget next year, which, would put us in the net income category. So I know not an exact answer to your question, but it's about as exact as I can tell.
Do you know what the interest rate is at this Synovus account?
Yeah, municipalities get a very low interest rate, like 1% or something. We get about $700 a month. We tried to go to Truist Bank, and we wanted to do a CD.
Yeah, that was paying like what, 4.5%?
4.5%, and CDs are not. Municipalities are not.
We got mostly to the end, and then she realized we were a municipality. She went, "Oh, I'm sorry. We can't do that for you."
Federal savings.
That actually municipality.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Is that pretty much the best we can do?
That's pretty much it. Now, Joel Flores, our county commissioner, remember when he was here, he had some idea of
Mhm.
And I need to, he was gonna send us something, which he never did, so I need to get back to him because he had some
He had something.
investment.
Yeah,
He had some investment that paid a greater percentage of return, and I don't know what it was. He was gonna send us something, in fact, frankly, I forgot about it until right now when we're talking about this. So I'll get in touch with him and see, because if we can get a higher rate of return, it's certainly to our advantage. Right now, it's piddly poor. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just had two quick questions.
Yeah.
Two line items, the interest on Road 28. And just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
it's $1,000 less projection. Is there a reason for that if the interest rate is the interest rate variable? Is that?
No, I probably over projected last time.
looking at the actual, what we're gonna
Yeah.
come in at.
Yeah, I projected that we were going to be getting, well, $750 a month, as you can see under me, which did not materialize. Okay, so that's why I scaled it back slightly.
And then just on Road 38, the auditing fees, 2,400 estimated last year.
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah. Well, our little auditor, Sasha Maldonado, has increased her monthly fee from $180 to $330. This is a point of contention for me, frankly. This is a monthly overview of our books, which we were required to do by the Office
The
of
auditor,
Inspector General when they did our audit, which was the first year I was in this position. So we came across this person who does also Cloud Lake. But the increase in that cost is ridiculous.
What is the percentage of that? I'm not good enough.
I don't know.
It's much more than 10 or 15%, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
It's, well, almost double. Almost double. No. Yeah, almost double. Almost double. 360 would be double. Now, Cloud Lake, Russ, their mayor, seems to have some leads on some other folks.
Yeah, we're shopping it.
We're kind of
Looking
shopping
to,
around. But the other thing that gripes me about it, though, is that it used to be that she would come in here on a Saturday once a month and go through our files and sort of run an audit of our month. Now I'm pretty sure she's living in Orlando.
Oh.
And I'm being asked to copy everything and put it in the Dropbox of her which I did yesterday. It took me all morning to do a 1 month. I have to copy checks, I have to copy deposit slips, I have to
that's
copy.
kind of ridiculous.
It is very ridiculous. So
Well, we need to shop that.
yeah, and so I'm confident that we're gonna.
Let me change.
I don't mind having that. It's a good safeguard for me as your fiscal agent to make sure that nothing weird is happening in the books.
Yeah.
Well, it's a CYA,
But paying $330 a month for it when I have to make all the copies and send them to her, it's a real pain in the tuchus.
well, I think it's possible they were hoping to price themselves out. Maybe she doesn't really want to do it. Who knows?
I don't know. And she's fairly unreasonable. I mean, CPAs have strict guidelines they have to follow, but for example, she's saying that usual period of time for a permit fee to be paid is within 30 days of the permit being approved. Most of ours are, but sometimes they're not. For example, this self-storage
Mm-hmm,
was approved
right,
way longer than 30 days before the payment came in.
right.
And occasionally that happens, not often. But then I asked her, I said, well, you know, where's that regulation? I think it's her own idea.
Yeah, probably.
So other questions or ideas?
Where, do we carry property insurance for the
Oh,
whole?
we
Where
do.
is that? 14J, 14,000.
Yeah,
14.
that,
So,
that
what road is
fee,
that?
that fee,
What road is it?
it's,
Very bad luck. 53. 53. So how much did that go up this year?
oh, it went up, well, for next year, it's not gonna go up, but
That covers everything, that's our liability.
from last fiscal year to this fiscal year, it went up $4,000 or $5,000. I forget. But it's property insurance, it's liability insurance, it's workman's comp. No flood, I don't think.
Well, it's a different category.
Yeah. So it's an all-inclusive policy, but it's handled by the Florida League of Cities. So it's the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust, FMIT is the name of the organization.
We don't have a lot of options in
We
that
don't.
department either.
Yeah, I don't know, it was on when I got here.
Is it 20 years old? When wasn't that? We were last to that. One.
I can look it up, I don't have.
I'm just curious.
It's not really like you said, it's not really the building and things, it's the property, it's all the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Whole insurance.
Yeah,
But the roof is definitely.
if we get sued for something that's fiscal, then supposedly that gets covered under that as well. You know, if I make a giant error in calculating something and somebody sues us for it, you know, that's covered under that.
Someone trips and falls in the building.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a lot more than just.
Workman's comp.
Workers' comp, all these other things. that are
Yeah.
pop up.
Yeah, exactly.
Already.
They pay it quarterly, it's about $3,000 quarterly, plus or minus.
So you have the money.
Yeah. Somewhere.
Just out of curiosity.
Yep.
What is the account name for number 15? What does that entail? Countywide occupation.
Well, we get a cut from businesses that register your business with the county. They have to register with the county and with us if they're in this town. And we get a cut of it. And it's not a great deal of money.
15, no.
Yeah, thousand, I got 1,500 there, but it's probably closer to $1,200 a year.
So counties that operate in Glen Ridge, but had to get a county occupation license, is
A
that?
business,
I have a Royal Palm Beach home occupation license, it costs me $100. I also have to get a county license, it costs 42.
No,
right,
you have to get both.
yes,
So, and the $42 is a lot less than the
And then you have to get
the municipal charge, you don't get less than.
yeah.
yeah. So that's what that is. It's not a great deal of money, but every month.
All right, any other questions on the budget?
I'm just sad about the stuff we sent thing, but we're not gonna be, like sponsoring a luncheon next year.
League of Cities?
Yeah.
No,
No, they're
No, not
on
really.
rotations
Every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, they rotated every few years, and that, it'll come up probably the following year, and it'll be us in 2 or 3 smaller cities that do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's 12 luncheons, there's 39 cities, the Blades all do the December one together. That leaves 11 to 36.
And the big cities do their big one, and boy, you missed one. in Weston. It was fabulous. Okay, anything else on budget?
If we do get like a surplus in one area, or we wanted to do like a party.
Like,
You can still do a party if you want to organize it, because we've got enough money in reserve.
yeah, well, I mean, we don't have it listed.
Discretionary fund with $5,000 in it.
I think I have a discretionary fund. Well,
I know.
oh, wait.
That went off and I.
Wait, don't you have plenty of time to do that?
Yeah. You need that, you know, yeah, we gotta get one in next year.
No.
Like, we gotta. She did like. Yeah, yeah.
Brad, you go like me. Oh, no, you want me to kind of around, just sit over here, you guys can serve yourself, mango bread, anyone? What did I know? Like that.
I'm afraid of that.
Yeah, I have a low view thing.
It's just getting everybody cooked now.
We're over advising all these mango bread on YouTube.
You still have it all?
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta leave out.
Meeting one,
Run one into the other.
Mango bread?
I'll take one off.
everything. Except my.
Okay, thank
you. Once, yeah. They saw it, it's easy, and it's dead. We didn't tell them. Yeah, it's not.
The other tree, but what are you, he's older, huh? It's still on the corner of the property. I was born in the house. Shit. On your, not funny, far from it, I hear, but I'm a friend, so I'm going to. Was finding actually, I'm doing it. Because we do, we have to punish you.
Ready to go? All right,
Well, what?
here we go. Let's roll it. Call to order the town council meeting for Flint Ridge for August 6th, 2025. Roll call.
Councilmember Morales,
Present.
Councilmember Wellman,
Here.
Councilmember Dance is flying back, she may be here, she's not. Councilmember Lisi,
Here.
Councilmember Roth,
Here.
Sarah Pine,
Here.
Sarah Quorum.
All right, next up, we have the TBSO, which John will have a report. We also have fire and rescue. So take it away.
We have a new.
Wait, I'm gonna let him go. No, fine, you go. Go ahead, please.
I don't care. Go ahead.
All right, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, we're happy to be back, missed you guys in the month of July. Today I have with me the district chief of the airport. We've had doing a tour, visiting all around. Good call volume in June, you guys had no calls in June and only one vehicle out in July, which is great. Response times and turnout times, we're okay. They're gonna be improving. On Friday, we start our glance pre-action system, when I talk to you about the lights changing, so it goes live as a coming up. So you're gonna see our units, our response times getting better. And you're gonna see the lights changing at the top of the units.
Okay.
That's all I got on my end. I just want you guys to meet the chief of the airport. He deals a lot with motorcade, presidential.
No, I'm here. Okay, are you at the station at the airport?
Yeah.
The station you want, yes. Okay, you guys are in the new station, correct?
But eventually.
It's been budgeted, it's budgeted,
It's been budgeted, they've cleared the land for it,
okay,
but
when they say breaking ground on something, to me, that's when you start building up.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, that's been delayed possibly till around the first of the year.
okay.
So the contractor tells me once they start, it'll move quickly and it'll be amazing when it's done, but yeah, we're looking at like 27 before we're gonna move it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So,
And what was your name again? I'm sorry.
so Matt Ritter.
Okay.
So, and as he said, so I covered the airport and our helicopter and everything that's there at the airport. And we don't have any municipalities, but the airport is my municipality. So all our meetings stuff are usually during the day. So to try to be a more well-rounded district chief, this is part of our responsibility. I go attend other meetings to see what happens and what goes on and all that. Just learning.
Yeah, I sit on the CCAN, so, we get a lot of reports of what's going on under there, so.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And we're looking forward to it, but it's gonna be a little while.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. All right. Anything else?
Fire rescue, question for the airport.
Questions? No? All right.
Have a lovely evening.
All right, okay.
Free to go.
Thank you all for having us.
Lots of mango bread on the way out.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, John, we have a new, deputy for PDSO, but he has training classes this week and is unable to attend, but he came and introduced himself this week and, he sent John a report.
His name is Jason Ekstrom, Ekstrom. So here's the report for the past 30 days, basically the month of July. Churchill Road, disturbance, assault, suspicious person, vehicle repossession, and a 911 reports were generated. Taylor Road, suspicious incident and a 911 report was generated. Gem Lake Drive, 911 and multiple business residential checks, no reports generated. Chandler Road, a welfare check was conducted, no report generated. Multiple traffic stops on Southern Boulevard, also within the neighborhood. 10 traffic stops and 9 business residential checks.
Glen Road, we were good.
Okay. What happened in Churchill? A repo. A repo? Oh, okay. Yeah, it happened to repo, I
And
said.
assault. Assault. You guys witness any of that?
No.
Yeah, well, that's the report from PBSO. Did we have anybody sign for
No.
public comment? No, moving on, approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor? All right, agenda is approved. Approval of the minutes have been distributed. Any additions, deletions, corrections? Okay. Motion to approve.
Second.
I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Okay, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Then it's approved. Finance report for May and June. Take it away, John.
I sort of
Kind of.
showed my hand already that having a net income. It's not being reflected necessarily on stuff that you have because that's May and June, but through the end of July, net income of 52,000 plus. So that's good.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
No major issue.
I think any questions have pretty much been answered. Mayor's report, I do not have much. John and I, Deborah Tenders, our representative in the Florida House, met with us on the 23rd. She's met with us once before. This was her recap of her first session in Tallahassee. And she's kind of brought us up to speed with what's going on and nothing really that we need to, concern ourselves with at this point that won't be addressed, I would say. Also that day was also the League of Cities luncheon, which was at Tequesta, and it was fabulous. They have really set the bar high. And the next league luncheon and meeting will be August 27th, and that is in Royal Palm Beach. So if anyone wants to attend that, just make sure you RSVP. And we will be going. I do not have anything else that won't be covered elsewhere. So next up, council reports. Anybody got anything? No? All right. Summer attorney report?
Just some minor conversations with the, manager and the, planner for the town on some issues. So that's should bring forward.
Okay.
I'll talk about that.
Not ready for prime time.
No,
We're just starting.
no, yeah.
Correspondence, same thing. Clerk's report.
We have new steps in the back of the town hall. I hope you noticed them. Yanni Maki built those, about $500. But they're really solid
I would put a flash above it,
to keep the water.
keep the water from going on either side instead of ripping on the steps and rotting.
Yeah. I sent out a summer newsletter. We try to do that every summer and mostly to make people aware of what they need to do for hurricane prep. Doug talked about some conversations we've had. There is a site plan application on file for 2002 Summit. That's the Palm Beach Outdoor Advertising, where the big billboard is. The proposal is to take the cell phone antennas off of the existing billboard pole and put up a separate pole for the I've been in close touch with the owner, David Cholak. He owns the property, he owns the company. The company that is proposing the new pole also has to get special exception and variance approvals from you, which is going to come to you, which are going to come to you at the September meeting. And then at the October meeting will be the formal site plan review hearing. So you'll be getting more information on that in the next few weeks, but heads up that that's in the hopper for the next two meetings.
I know they wanted to extend the town to about 40 feet higher.
I think that's, yeah.
So we need to, I decided to be the paying for their posteriors, saying, hey, it was a special exception in the first place. You need more special exception variances if you want to do more.
So we convene as the local planning agency for that.
So we don't know what the height will be,
123 I believe.
It's over 100, yeah.
and then they indicate it's monopole or down there,
Mono.
it's gonna be mono. They might want to consider follows a kind of issue.
I don't know. Well, that's something that you all can,
It's a billboard down at Summit on almost in 95.
Yeah, I mean, it's really across the street from town, it's its own little.
But it's still in my involved. Sliver. Yeah. Where the sliver, yeah. Yeah.
we have,
If you look at it.
yeah,
It was originally, but Summit went through the property and something else through the property, so. In all of their genius planning, that's what was left over there, so.
And goes to the phone down. No, it's out. Right now, it's just a billboard.
Right, the billboard.
I think
the antennas are on the billboard. So,
they want.
and there's been major issues with the phone people and the owner of the billboard.
But we'll have more information right
Yeah.
now, just,
Jack Horniman is our site plan reviewer, and he has all the documentation, and he and Doug have talked. And yes, and that's why there's an interim step before we actually get to the site plan review. And the interim step of a special exception and then a variance for the height. It's up to you all.
We get a better reception. Good carrier is using.
well, the town get better reception, you're representing the town.
So, Jack is reviewing all that and he'll have a report to us that you will get prior to. You'll see the special exception application and the variance application prior to the September meeting. And then you'll see the site plan review by Jack prior to the October meeting.
Okay, so we're gonna make you the, so that's his line of work. Yeah, that's right.
You all probably are aware of the motorcycle fatality on Southern Boulevard. We captured the cyclist speeding past Gem Lake on our cameras. And that has been turned over to PBSO. It's been turned over to an investigator who was working on behalf of the crane company, who was the company driving the semi truck. And also to the attorney for the crane company. So my sense is they're trying to determine how fast this guy was going. And they can do that just by the video. It's perfectly clear if you watch it, which I've done many times, that the guy was going much faster than the prevailing speed of the traffic. So
We have a resident that witnessed it and has been interviewed by the sheriff's department and, our cameras once again have been able to at least provide information that is gonna be beneficial to at least answer some questions for an unfortunate incident, but
I suspect that the family of the cyclist is probably wanting to sue the crane company. But they're trying to determine if speed was an issue.
It could be a comparative fault kind of.
I was gonna say, what's that trigger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fault.
but I don't think, I'm not.
So anyway, that's what's going on. I'll keep you
5 or 10% off, and you never know.
I'll keep you apprised of any news about that.
We also were in a review.
Yeah. The state of Florida now has its own Department of Governmental Efficiency called DOE. You're all familiar with that term, I'm sure. We received a request on a Monday near the end of June, or July, I forget. To provide a bucket load of financial information for the town of Glen Ridge, most of which is already on file with the state because of our annual financial report, which I filed by June 30th. But we had to duplicate that, and there were certain things that I couldn't answer because we don't keep books that way. For example, they wanted to know specifically an income stream specifically toward an expense stream. Sometimes that's possible. In most cases, it's not, because we don't track it that way. Just money goes into the general fund and we pay the bills out of the general fund. There are certain things that are one-to-one correspondence. For example, the infrastructure surtax is to be used for infrastructure projects, and we monitor that separately. The gasoline tax is for road and street, and we track that separately. 1 week to turn it around. The following Monday. Well, yeah. So you've probably seen some information in the media that this committee is got its sights set on Gainesville, Brevard County, and now I see Palm Beach County Commissioner. Broward, what did I say? Broward, sorry.
Broward and Palm Beach County.
Broward, Palm Beach County, and the city of Gainesville. So stay tuned. You'll see how that shakes out. We had to get a new tag camera for the exit camera on Gem Lake at the entrance to town. It's not here yet. It's not installed yet. But it got whacked somewhere along the way. I think, lawn service, somebody down there when the lawn was being, when the lawn was being mowed at 1550, it got whacked because of, we have a video attached. So that's in the process. I ordered today another mirror for the intersection of Glen and Chandler, which is a blind intersection. Those streets come in at an angle, and that's part of the problem. There's also growth there on the corner of Chandler and Glen Road, Clusia and Fence. Code enforcement is looking to see if that impinges upon our easement. I don't have a result of that evaluation yet, but that might be the case. So stay tuned on that, but,
Well, according to,
the new,
the people that have purchased the house, think the contract with the guys that are renting it now, it's maybe up the end of this month, next month, the latest. One of the residents knows them and he's already said, he goes, I'll do whatever, I'll take the fence down, I'll clear it, I don't want any trouble, so. He's gonna, so it'll be corrected,
We'll
I'd
see,
say,
but-
in the next month or two.
but that's, we did
I
that.
suspect it's in the.
We did that, we put up a mirror at, Churchill and Glen,
Oh, works great.
which is the great and godsend, and it comes tomorrow, so it's an overnight kind of thing, so we'll force Patrick into putting it.
And so John, even if the plants are planted within the code, guidelines, we could still ask them to trim Clusia back.
Oh, and we do, whenever it's, and they're, I think the situation there is that they're far enough back from the intersection, even though they're blocking, that they fall within the code and you still can't see.
Unless you're in a big truck.
I think we will.
That's my perception of the
I think the
situation.
new resident will be managed.
But at any rate, the mirror will correct that, so we'll get that up ASAP. And yesterday we had the building and all the sidewalks power washed because they were crappish looking and they're very nice looking now, so. All morning to get that done, so you can read the rest of what's there, but for summer, for June and July, it's been not busy until the last several weeks, and then.
Let's go.
Yep.
Okay, whole business, first item up was the nuisance zoning ordinance. Did anyone give that any thought, any, investigative work, was that something that you guys wanted to pursue? As an ordinance, as a code?
I don't want to pursue as an ordinance. I want to address any issues case by case.
Well, you're gonna have an ordinance.
You gotta have something to,
You can't say you have to clean it up if you don't have an ordinance that says.
You gotta have an ordinance if you wanna.
But we've gotten along this far without the ordinance, right?
Oh, yeah, but that's because to have good neighbors who are good neighbors. Sometimes good neighbors aren't good neighbors and sometimes people are not yard people.
well, obviously, no one's done any homework on it, so we will just move it to next time, because I've done quite a bit, and,
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of ones. we can
there
go
are
from
cities out there.
Petty and picky to just sort of generalize.
There are cities out, there's a lot of, a lot of cities have them. We have the Palm Beach County common violations and frequent violations. We also have one that I found really cute. Ocean Ridge, any nuisance of any kind, nature, or description which tends to annoy the community or any portion thereof, or which tends to injure health, safety, welfare, or morals and peace of the citizens.
Well,
Yeah,
And that one is probably void for business.
yeah, I would think so.
well,
Now, that good stuff.
there are others that define junk. One that I saw that maybe before next meeting, if you guys are serious about doing something, do a little research and, go on Unicode and look at various cities. Now, Oakland Park, in their code of ordinances, they have one that reads property maintenance, outdoor storage, and junk or abandoned property. And it's pretty comprehensive. And it deals with a goal of avoid blighting influences and enhance the quality of life in the city. Avoid blighting influences that, let's see, there was one, let's see, that addressed blighting influence means physical condition of property which due to poor maintenance directly or indirectly causes a reduction in the value of surrounding residential and non-residential property. So there's 1,000 ways to Sunday to do this.
You can do really hard ones.
If you want to do it, but just before next meeting, at least do a little research and, then we can talk about it again, and if you want to do something, if you don't, that's fine, it's up to you.
I would propose if you want to do something, that you come up with some ideas and email them to me.
Mhm.
And I'll put them on the agenda at the next meeting so that you can see a compilation of what people are thinking about.
I'm out and about in the Lakewood Beach. Most of the time, I work in the laboratory, I handle the laboratory, I do laboratory testing for the city and my partner. And, work, College Park, all the way, everyone, like, industrial area. And I spoke to a few code enforcement officers, and it's a challenge.
Yeah,
But and I've talked to some of the people living like work, most of the time, they're okay with it, as long as behind the house. Out of sight, out of mind, they're okay with it, they won't. If you go to College Park, it cures itself.
Right.
Other parts, between A Street and F Street, to the railroad track. Industrial area that gets out of hand. But regular A Street, they go to the go. And anything behind the house, most of the time, they won't challenge it.
Well, most of the time they can't see it, and they
well,
can't.
like,
Right.
the complaint that we're getting is that it's not. But outside,
It's not hidden.
Right.
it's very visible, yeah.
I'll be doing the Lake Worth meeting next month.
Yeah, so it's pretty cut and dry. Lake Worth is, it's very diverse.
It's eclectic.
Different.
Melting pot as well.
They have a ton of code officers.
I know a lot of places that it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
Well, it dictate, just like you say, and as you read through these, when they start defining junk, well, like they always say, one man's junk's another man's treasure. How do you go to someone and say, get your junk out of the carport? We're tired of looking at it.
Right.
So,
I've lost stuff in the carport.
A lot of the photos told me people like that have a lot of stuff. They'll go out to Calucia's and Calucia's get up to 20 feet tall and they have well cakes and nobody sees anything. And nothing happens. And most of the time it happens to be in early yard,
right.
abandoned vehicles, old trucks, mobile homes.
Well, we addressed, we have the restricted and the prohibited for the vehicles and the boats and all that sort of thing. It's more the unsightly blight type things, so.
And that's what I got from them.
Yeah, and here again, we try and keep things, we're not an HOA, we don't, we try not to dictate any more than we have to, but. It's a reoccurring.
But if you ask someone to help you clean it up and they don't, you gotta do something different.
Okay. All right, so food for thought. Yeah. Like I said, let's get some ideas.
Wellington and Palm Beach Gardens and those people are kind of strictish, and if you want lesser, Royal Palm Beach is a pretty good one.
Right, yeah, like I said, the Oakland Park is decent as well, because it's more than, kind of does like maintenance, property maintenance.
Right.
So, just look through Municode, look at some various cities, plug in a few keywords, and you'll have the opportunity to kind of see what's out there. All right, moving along, FPL update, Tom Lisi.
On Friday, July 11th, I met with Matt Markle, the Bowman Consultant, the authorized contractor representing FPL regarding the status of the electrical line underground project. First, Matt indicated that the project is likely to break ground in the first quarter of 2026, and that the estimated timeframe to completion will be approximately 2 to 3 months. He noted that factors include pouring, overhead electrical removal, restoration, and weather could create unforeseen delays. Second, Matt indicated that the main feeder line would be located along the entire length of Chandler's Road. He noted that there are 3 exceptions to undergrounding, which include the feeder line on Chandler Road itself, as well as other feeder lines located throughout Glen Ridge, streetlights and overhead electric that could be feeding adjacent communities, which would need to be undergrounded prior to taking the lines down at Glen Ridge. Third, Matt indicated that Pike Engineering will determine where the poles will be topped at the time of staking. He noted that the town can reach out to him at that time to coordinate with Pike Engineering and that the poles located on the street, sorry. Poles located on the street would be easier to be topped versus those behind houses. Fourth, Matt explained that transformers will be removed and that in most cases, but not all cases, a ground junction box will be installed in their place on the small concrete pad, which at this point homeowners should be aware of. And lastly, Matt indicated that FPL Bowman will communicate future updates to Glen Ridge residents by mail, email, and telephone calls. In summary, this project appears to be very fluid at this time in terms of the timeframe for undergrounding and completion, despite initial estimates that it would be completed in the fall of 2025. And that's basically a summation. A lot of other points that he covered during, groundbreaking and actual underground process, fire rescue, and other types of those vehicles will be able to pass. FPL will be able to get out of the way, so we're not going to be trapped in our houses if there's an emergency. And he also indicated that power could be cut up to four hours per day during the actual process. But that's not going to be cast in stone, obviously. So, it was disappointing to learn that not all the lines are going to be coming down.
No,
And furthermore, that they may not top poles because of cost considerations and thinking that eventually Comcast and Verizon will do the work for them. But I think if we consider ourselves as a squeaky wheel at the time of staking, maybe we can persuade them to do it. Especially the ones on the street side, which I think we have the majority of Glen Ridge, so holes on the street side versus behind the house, right? Safe to say.
yeah.
I,
Yeah. Because just reducing that
I mean, it's like down our way, there's the huge feeder that they put in several years back. I mean, the one that I go to pizza now and everything. There's some yards, like Little's has one, there's several,
Yeah.
but, cause like we were talking, there's. When Glen Ridge started and we're sort of so much in the middle of everything, the whole town's not on the same power grid. It's not like they came in and developed a town and said, here you go. I tend to think that down our end, we're probably on a grid. Later, maybe the jail or the sheriff's department or something.
That'll keep you up, out of better.
Well,
Doesn't count that back up fast.
what I'm saying, every storm, I mean, knock on wood, I mean, we've gone down for 3 days at the most, that was, I think, Francis or Jane. So, yeah, and one was 12 hours. So, but we're on different grids. There's some feeders coming from here, some from over there. So it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be the same throughout the town. So
During the early days of this project, I did contact Comcast and AT&T, and they had no plans to do anything.
No. But I just think to reiterate that if we could get them to cut poles down to 7 to 8 feet. That would make a huge difference to our community aesthetically. Because right now, it's like, now, there's nothing we can do about the big concrete ones, but on the new streets, we could persuade them to do that. That would be really helpful.
well, I mean, the big concrete ones and the ones that they've been coming in replacing, thank God, I mean, they're hardening the system.
Meter line.
Yeah, hardening the system, so, yeah.
The lights.
If they top them, it has to be above that. Above where the streetlights?
Yeah, that's one of the examples. Yeah, they're not going to underground any streetlights.
Oh, okay, so there will be still, no, I mean, no question. I mean,
Yeah.
there will still be poles along.
Yeah, but they can't get the electrical that provides streetlight will not get underground.
Underground and then it comes up all there from the ground.
I mean, basically, Matt said stuff.
It's good.
Pike Engineering is gonna be the deciding factor because he's not an engineer. So he couldn't definitively say, these are gonna come down, these are gonna stay. Like Churchill, I think we have 3. Taylor has a different amount. And then Main Road here, Glen Road has many more than 3.
Oh, yeah. you know, so it's gonna be nice though, at the end of the day, any improvement.
Yeah.
Just getting rid of-
Well, I mean, the main thing, and thank you, Tom, is just, keeping it alive in their minds to know that we're thinking about it and, we're interested, and now they know that we want to be kept abreast of what's going on. So, I think at this point, we just, keep it in the front of our mind and, as things progress, then.
He said he would introduce us to the project manager at, Pike.
Okay,
So,
I ended one guy, Nick. He was out when they were doing the last work because I wanted my property restored and it was done very poorly. So I had a cell number. I don't know if that's, the guy. Because, well, he told me that things change very quickly. That he didn't originally have the job and then it changes and so, at any rate, when it gets closer to time, hopefully we'll have more information. So.
Communities that use it, where there could be a delay in underground lines, if we're keeping adjacent.
I don't know, I mean, the huge pole that's down behind Little's, that, I'm sure part of that feeds across it now.
Yeah, it makes it possible.
Is there any chance maybe we can have somebody with a bike as we get closer to come and speak with us in the meeting?
Exactly how it's fun. And I think it's a great idea to have a remote on in town.
We can try for that.
Yeah, when it gets closer to time, we'll
Figure out, figure out who it is.
yeah. Sounds
In the
good.
dark, just what would be nice to know more details.
The problem has been all along that town hall is the last to know
That's it.
what's going
Yeah,
on.
and every time we meet with anyone with FPNL, that,
And we keep telling them that, and it never changes. To
communication.
the point where we weren't getting our street lights replaced when they burned out and I stopped paying the bill. Didn't do a bit of good. They just tacked it on to the next month and then, well, hell with that didn't work.
And John, I've met with him several times. All right, very good. Thank you, Tom. Anything else on the old business? Anything? New business, budget resolution.
A resolution of the town council of the county of Long Florida, approving the estimates of revenue and expense for the October fiscal year commencing on the first day of October 2025 and ending on the 30th day of September 25. Current annual budget, close friends, prepared by the mayor, reviewed by the town commissions, and appointing the sums of money herein are shown therein as may be needed or deemed necessary to defray all expenses and liabilities of the town for such fiscal year, repealing all resolutions or parts of resolutions in conflict herewith, providing a savings clause, providing an effective date for other purposes. Resolution 2025-1. This is the only reading. I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve resolution number 2025-1.
All right, so this is just the annual budget resolution. You had your workshop. You saw the numbers, you saw everything works. And if you have any more questions, this is the time for it. Otherwise, just need a motion to approve.
Any questions?
No question.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nay? No, okay.
All right, we need to circulate that.
Sign the page, you got it.
All right, okay, everyone please sign. Alice, pass it around.
Okay, next, but I'm gonna pass it down. I'm passing it. Hey, look at you there. Oh, you got it there, Kevin.
Here, bud. I think it's so physical.
Oh, so you already signed?
Yep.
Okay.
Straight on the, you man.
Okay.
So this is like.
Yeah, okay, so.
The program, yeah, the phone, the light on the phone, yeah. Shut it. You know, they're. I'll touch them.
Okay. Thank you. All right, next is. Zoning review. Oh, no, what did I say?
He's on it.
Okay.
Oh, you're
That's
gonna-
the new edition.
Oh,
Oh, we're not gonna do the other?
Look in your book.
Oh, yeah.
Use
okay.
your,
I
use
put it
it in your book.
I printed my agenda off before that. Okay, speed bump issues.
We have recurring problems with the new speed bump that we put in on Church. A person who remains unnamed keeps driving his boat trailer over it without jacking up the wheel and rips off
Well, maybe the lower unit can do props.
part of it. So it's been repaired twice now. But I put something in your, there's a page in your book. It may be possible that the county will install permanent concrete speed bumps. I have to check further on that, but you can read that statement that I copied that says.
Yeah, we saw that they were doing 18 projects in the
Yeah,
county, so we're seeing if we can beat that.
To request speed bumps on a roadway within Palm Beach County's traffic control jurisdiction. I assume that's every. Unless, I know we have jurisdiction over our own road, so I've got to clarify it and see.
Yeah, you gotta clarify that, because there are county roads, there are medium roads.
Yeah, so we may or may not
There are
be able.
federal roads.
Right. So it says traffic division evaluates these based on criteria, yada, yada, yada. Neighborhood consensus required, yada, yada, yada. I will look into this and see if we can get the county to install proper concrete speed humps on the Churchill, and I guess there's also a yellow and black one on Taylor. Yeah. To replace all of those with a permanent structure. We were going to try to get that done when we did the parking project, but that got so demolished up because of the septic tank situation that nobody knew about, but was in charge of designing the plans for that. And the problem is to get it built, to get one of those things built, it's not an easy thing to do because it's such a small amount of material. And nobody wants to do a small job. There are no contractors not do a small job. So if we can get the county to pay for it, we'll
Well, the county has 18 projects now, that they're evaluating in the county, so we're hoping that perhaps if they start these projects, that we can piggyback on them. And-
well, if they determine that
Yeah,
that these roads are under their jurisdiction, if they're under our jurisdiction, as it clearly says.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on
any questions? Zoning review, short-term
there.
rental.
You got a page in there too. I had several calls from realtors who were showing the Sullivan property about whether we permitted Airbnbs. Says, no, we don't permit them. Well, they basically asked what the ordinance was, and we figured out that it was blowing smoke, that we don't have it. So I finally told them, look, we follow the county guidelines, which the county guidelines you have in front of you, which the under key requirements, short-term rental license and business tax receipt are required by the county for an Airbnb or a short-term rental. Those are items that you, the council, have say over. So, to my way of thinking, if you want to put the kibosh to the short-term rentals, then if you follow this and you don't approve a business tax license, then it can't happen.
I gotta look some more of that up because the Florida legislature
Did that,
has.
remember I knew there was probably something,
The legislature keeps taking away the ability of
June
local
2014.
Ah,
They did it permits local governments to create regulation that distinguishes vacation rentals from other residential property, does not allow local governments to create regulations that would prohibit vacation rentals or restrict the duration of frequency. Such regulations remain preempted to the state.
Yeah, we can do so very little. The only things you could have done were doing registration requirements and business tax requirements before 2014, if they existed.
But I think being in the county, they would still be required, there's a whole section there.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to probably have to look up some more, because I've heard of more regulations going.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that,
Where they're even taking out the ability to do business tax regulations, because people
Yeah.
in the vacation industry have wonderful lobbyists, and local state legislators don't give a dang about us.
Check with Bill, because he did it for us, because we have a vacation rental straight across the street from me. Used to be my nephew's house. That's all it is, an Airbnb.
And what was he able to do with it?
Very little.
Very little or
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, but we have an ordinance. Does it stand on anything? No, but they have to get, we inspect it once a year. We
probably do
require,
business.
yes,
they have
it's
to
like,
pay, they have to report the income, they have to pay the county tax, they have to. There's a.
There's almost nothing we can do to stop anyone from doing this. Because the state has taken the power away from us. And it's legal rules,
yeah.
and they hate municipal power, they want to consolidate it all at the state level where they can get good political donations. So I'll say this on YouTube too, because I know this is what reality is.
All right, well, moving on. then.
anyway, that's the,
Yeah, there's very little or nothing to be there.
Well,
I mean,
No,
are these
it's-
county requirements, not in existence either?
The county
I got
requirements,
this off the county website.
the county requirements may be in existence because the county had ordinances in place prior to the legislature de-powering municipalities from dealing with this stuff.
Right.
Can we require the same as the county and just, because I mean, we do defer sometimes, if we don't have it, we go with the county.
And then we always defer when it comes to building codes and regulations.
State, county, or state.
But the problem is the county probably had regulations in place prior to the legislature taking it over, while we didn't.
Well, now you
Yeah.
have a project.
I love it. I have a daughter.
Yeah, okay. All right, next up is the stop sign issues.
Yeah, people aren't stopping. Long and the short of it. What do you wanna do?
I Googled today how to make stop signs more visible.
We're like the stop sign that makes the more visible blowing of the sun.
We did
Detail.
talk about this.
Let's look at higher reflectivity, double stop signs, larger stop signs, reflective material on the post, LED lights, fluorescent sheeting, and proper placement.
A siren that goes off whenever no.
There you go.
Okay. Then you have only my children do that.
no, the thing is, but I thought you're going to.
Yeah,
On all the signs. Well, this is the larger stop sign than recommended, or putting two stop signs up, one on each side of the street.
But people know the stops. Yeah, it's just, they're ignoring it, they're blowing it, it's not gonna help.
It's not that it's not visible, they just don't care.
They just don't care.
Reflective sign post.
You know, they still don't care. Yeah.
we talked a long time ago about getting this stop signs that have the flashing lights. The perimeter rather, yes.
For solar panel.
Yes. It's something we could try if you have the desire to do so. I don't think every stop sign in town needs to have that if you choose that route, but this one is the main culprit. I mean, I sit here in the catbird seat and I can make a bit of a list for you of residents that I know blow right through it.
There's no way for us to request an exception to the county to put a speed bump right at the stop sign.
No.
That's the only.
No, it's too close. It can't be within a certain number of,
Why would they say that's not allowable when that's the only?
I don't know.
Does it have to do with emergency vehicles?
Say on yeah, there are regulations for speed bumps about where they can be in relation to the stop sign in the intersection.
Well, yeah, you were.
I'm not aware of anybody getting a variance.
We're precluded. That's why we put them in the middle of the roads, in between driveways.
What's your pleasure? Any pleasure? Nothing, something?
If this is the most, egregiously violated one,
Right.
let's address this one. The stop sign coming into town here it's back from where.
You have to go past it.
You have to go past it, but that might be the one where you wanna call your attention to it more, because people have already looked past it too. And there's foliage there and, so that's.
For all three of these, we don't talk about.
Right, these though, I think we should swap them out for yield sign, because you come this way, it's a yield sign, you look to make sure there's no traffic that's gonna be turning in front of you, it's a natural thing to do. But to the people coming this way, that's not gonna be an issue for you, they hopefully stop, but even if they have turned into a lane, people coming this way. Can see in front of them, people coming here, the ones that here, they're coming this way, have to stop, that's the obligatory stop.
Well, I mean, if, I think that's just giving them freedom. They are.
You want
You know,
to like after.
The question of that stop is not just, I mean, it's pets, it's people, it's bicyclists, it's walkers, it's, you know.
Those,
And if you want to have police enforcement, you have to have a stop sign.
And, yeah.
there's no police enforcement.
We hire people every once in a while.
How about that whole piece in the middle, we put up something pretty in the middle?
Right.
Or if you put
Yeah.
that part, it's easy, okay.
I brought that up.
People to actually
Yeah.
don't do this or do this, so actually have to stop around like.
Like a,
Roundabout.
Yeah.
Roundabout.
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 And I dropped the ball on it, but my friend like had some ideas about it. I don't know like what the rules are with emergency vehicles and everything, but obviously if you did that, number one, it would make this situation look much more beautiful.
It's pretty.
And then slow people down significantly, because this you just.
Well, it would take the people coming out this way to go out of town and make them circulate around behind it and come back in
Yeah.
from that side. So I'm gonna do a thing to the people coming that way going out.
and one's coming in here, I can see half of them just cutting through and not even going around in a circle, because they don't care.
Can we put a traffic light?
Oh, yeah, right.
That's enforcement.
Yeah, you gotta, I mean, that's.
I'll stop with them.
But maybe at least just move the stop sign to like a reasonable spot where you don't have to blow past it every time. And then stop where you think is appropriate.
And then you kind of stripes on the ground too.
That was awkward for me,
Yeah.
cause you have to run it. And then at that point, are you gonna do like an awkward stop?
Yeah, you just crawl through.
Yeah,
But you end up stopping further up.
right.
Because you
There's
don't
no
see.
sense in there, so you have to do it on your own and judge it yourself. And you've already ran the stop light, technically.
I guess an overpass, that's a question.
Can we fire it? Yeah. Even start your bottle over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're struggling to keep a nature, bad driving habits. You cannot make those people better unless.
Work, that what we decided.
Well, like I said, we could look into moving one.
Well, I guess, do you want to try a lighted something or other, a lighted stop sign that flashes? That might irritate the neighbors.
What are cameras that take pictures and take it?
No,
We don't do that.
listen, even the cameras will the day I was at the traffic division, all these cameras that you see, they don't record.
We don't have
They
the
don't
authority.
record.
We don't
Honestly,
have
don't
the
record.
authority.
They said we would spend our entire life going back or all day long looking at, a lot of these don't even, now, if it's a stoplight, assigned specific camera, like they have by school zones and stuff, but most of these cameras, you see, they're going.
But I like John's idea of the flashing in this intersection here, because this is the most.
But there's a lot of lights at the front of the town too, the gym light when people don't stop when they're.
Correct.
That one, to be able to get. Yeah, right.
Those lighted stop signs are about $1,500.
Are those the solar ones? They're all solar?
But they're flashing.
Did you want to contribute?
Flashing.
With the overtime.
Do you guys want to give that some thought and have a look and decide where you would like to try? If
Yeah,
you
you
want-
want need to do the 5-minute workshop before the meeting and go out there and say, here, this would be a better spot for this one. Maybe paint it straight.
Is the runway not a viable option?
It's an expensive option that people probably aren't gonna deal with. I mean, I've got in my neighborhood in North Palm Beach. I'm like the king of driving through them as fast as humanly possible in my truck. I have the skill.
You're one of those.
I'm one of those. But I can stop at the stop signs. I mean, it may be rolling, but I stop.
Well, like me, I think,
I don't blow the plate.
the time factor we have in getting legible, and some light stuff. We don't have, white line to go.
Yeah. Paint a line, so at least you know, if you're gonna hire a cop to go out here and monitor these bad people on a, Wednesday night coming home, those white lines in the morning, at least you'll have a good set of proof that they can show in court.
Stop, white line stop, make it more, let's just use our due diligence at least, and we're trying to, maybe people will say, hey. And if
And the people are gonna blow it anyway, you have to talk to them and or hire police.
So what have we decided?
Good at what time?
White lines.
Well, we'll come out there, we're gonna go out there and look at it and see where you're gonna deal with it next meeting and decide what to do. Yeah.
Everybody look at it, everybody put your thinking cap on it, let's come up with something that we.
Yeah, if your stop sign is way too far and you have to go past it to see, your stop sign's long.
I think where we want to.
There's not much choice over here.
Oh, yes, gotta go up.
You can move it all the
Well,
way
it's
there.
weird. I mean, the grass curves right around, so it's hard to move the stop sign any farther to the south.
Have to be
You look at the lawn out here and once you get past the stop sign, the lawn,
You can see what you got all.
the curve goes.
It's not like the others. Well, what's your pleasure? Think about it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do used to say, no,
I don't know what to say, because I don't think.
Well, that's just it.
I don't think it's gonna deter the heat, we're just, I very blatantly
But you can't do anything on your.
defiant in plain English, just defiant.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but I don't wanna dissuade fellow council members from saying that those, Layla just said that the white lines are a great idea, so. But it's the real offenders, the hardcore offenders who just have no consideration for anyone else's safety or well-being.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the same people that speed by my house all the time. It's the same people. I recognize the people. but-
And the other thing is Uber drivers.
Now, the white lines would be effective, I think, for visitors or Uber drivers that don't know.
Correct.
I recorded FedEx driver.
And that UPS guy is pretty good.
I recorded.
So then, but
Gosh, man, it's a lot
of words.
of, he knows something.
That's for now.
You got it, my God.
Well, man, right there.
You text me, can you wake me up that? But I agree, I mean,
Well, we will look into that and see what needs to take place or what we'll just Google it, see what's going on.
but stop signs, stop and outgo.
Call, all the little box in there.
I have a public comment, and to be.
You can't have a public comment, Ed.
What?
You're a council member, you can't have a public comment.
I'm making my council report.
Now, you're doing an additional agenda item for, new business.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you were gonna mention your report about the new owner of the law firm buildings at the entrance of town. And it is an existing law firm that is closing its office up in Center Park. And they're moving it down to this location instead. It's essentially a law.
You know the name of it?
Kelly Cronenberg.
Okay, I think they do defense.
Do you know them?
Yeah, I've heard of the phone.
Cronenberg with a K.
Yeah.
Kronenberg.
I think it's K with a K.
They have a good reputation, especially the principal partner and CFO. His name is Keith Alio. But they do a lot of like business solution to that kind of business, bankruptcy, but other things as well, but.
John's been in communication with them because they're working on plans and, John's been working with,
They're going to do some internal remodeling.
Yeah, they're gonna-
They just they just recorded their deed on July 31st, so it was really.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's fairly dry.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good, it's good to have a good.
And they're- occupy pretty much the whole building with the exception of Remax that has a contract for now. So that'll be nice as well.
I wonder if we would consider their entrance and exit from their parking lot. That could be an issue too. Have you ever noticed it coming into town when a car is leaving? Yeah, we want to make sure they understand, they want to keep their heads low so we can see when a car is leaving their parking lot.
That's our
Was
responsibility.
that our responsibility?
And we do, Matt.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we have a 36-inch state corner distance.
That on
You
was-
gotta keep it right about here so you can see over.
For a period.
Oh, it's not that, it's higher than that.
Oh, that needs to be trimmed, that's all.
Matt takes care of that. And it's coming.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else?
Thank you for letting me go out there.
No,
Well,
we're.
we just can't put you in public comment, that's too long. Long at all.
So here's that. Motion adjourned. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, come away.
You,
Yeah.
you want to take
Oh, no, they're. Yeah. Great.
What? You too, a baby share, how to do really just put some trees.
Well, take the.
It's not.
Oh, no.
Production.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're returning the mango.
But I thought.
Mango right last week.
He wasn't.
I'm gonna get some more.
He wasn't the owner.
Mango bread?
Yeah, so it won't.
He wasn't the owner when they did the site.
Okay.
Site.
I figured it was. Well, that would be nice.
Yeah.
You used the same grid.
I'm eating mango bread. I'm really eating that.
You want the.
Mm.
Yeah. Right. Oh.